So for the ones that don't know you and don't know Pozyx, can you briefly explain your company and what you're doing?
Okay, yeah. So Pozyx is a Ghent-based company. We do hardware and software, and everything is clustered around ultra-wideband technology. So ultra-wideband technology is a radio technology that can be used for indoor positioning, but there are some other applications as well, which sort of have pushed us also in automotive.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really interested to hear. Can you explain a little bit the applications that you see for your technology in automotive?
So we have clients in both assembly, so that's the plants. These are logistic processes that where we do track and trace, or we do tool tracking. So imagine you've got an assembly line, you've got your tools from Atlas Copco or De Sutter or Clayco, doesn't matter. We can put a tracker on those tools, and then we can control those tools or monitor those tools. On the other hand, we're also in the cars.
And in the plants, do you have some references of technology where you are already being used today in automotive?
So currently, so for plants and assembly lines, we have our largest client is VDL Netcar at the moment. We've got some other projects, but I'm not in the liberty to tell who they are. But I've got some other installations as well. And then we've got a bunch of clients that are in the pipeline, and there's some really large names there that we're working on. And I believe that we will do installations with them in the second half of the year still.
So, Michael, you mentioned that your technology, ultra-wideband, is used in the plant for localization of objects. But I believe it's also a use case in the vehicle itself, in the car. Can you explain what that is?
So there are some very clear use cases also in and around the car, where we can create a local positioning system. And then the use case that everybody knows is the keyless car entry use case. Ultra-wideband as a technology is very secure, very safe. You can encrypt the signal. There's a good few things that you can do with it, make it really, really safe. And at this moment, there's the so-called Connected Car Consortium. They've published a bunch of white papers, and they do meetings every quarter as well. And Apple is a member, and then basically all the large OEM brands are also all members. And then a bunch of tier 1 OEMs are also members. And all of them are working on ultra-wideband technology to embed it into that key fob.
So it will not be unlocking the car with a cell phone, but it's a, I would say, a safe key then that you would have.
No, it will be, you will be able to open up the car with the cell phone.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, and that fits in the whole idea where we have the car of the future, and with the Uberization of your car. Imagine that you just can walk up to a car, and then with the iCar application, you open it up with your iPhone, and you can immediately drive off with the car. It's insured, it's your Visa card is credited, and then you leave the car wherever you want, and somebody else can just step in, and that's the dream, basically. That's the idea behind it.
Yeah. So you are in the car in the plant. I think totally different worlds. Am I correct?
Absolutely. So completely different parts of the companies. So the same company but different people. They do not talk with each other. So completely different lines of command, and also completely different approaches. So in the if you're inside the car, you're very much talking with the R&D departments. It's hardcore engineering, where you work with work packages. Some things can also fail. It's not a problem. You can make mistakes, or you can set up program and then figure out that a certain approach does not work. In the assembly line, then you're critical. You're working directly with the people in operations. Completely different way of working. They want security. There's no room for errors. It's all Six Sigma. So it's completely different.
And the social distancing, I believe that your technology can also be used there. Do you get some questions from the automotive industry regarding the use of your technology for social distancing?
Yes, so we've got some local, they're in Belgium, we've got two large assembly lines basically for cars. Both of them have approached us, one for a project also in the US. They immediately want 10,000 or 100,000 of trackers and they want them tomorrow. The problem, it's hardware, so you can't deliver the day after because nobody saw COVID coming. So supply chains are real, specifically if you're doing hardware. And then at the same time, you've got this really weird dynamic where they basically say, okay, we're not working at full capacity anyways, so we'll do it old school, meaning that we'll just ask half of the people to come to the plant and give them twice as much space or room, and then by default, you're COVID proof. But that is because you're working at half capacity, and then you don't need a technology solution.
We have several members that are active in different industries. For me, it's always very interesting to hear from people, how does automotive compare to other industries? And I think Pozyx is active in many different markets. You are also a member of the Sports and Entertainment Technology Club, of the Food and Beverage Technology Club at Agoria. What makes automotive so special?
So automotive is it's like the first division in, like, if you would compare it with football. So I think if you can if you have clients in automotive, the type of work and the quality of work that you need to deliver is of the highest standard.
It's like
I think,
Champions League.
yes, it is Champions League. Maybe aerospace is like the Olympic Games, and then automotive is the Champions League. But the things that they ask from you in automotive, the bar is very, very, very high. And once you've got your beachhead in automotive, you've got a few clients, they start talking with each other, and then people move inside the industry as well. Your name gets passed along, and you can really build a really sustainable business in automotive, even with a COVID crisis. But you have to pick your projects correctly, and you need to find a good balance between pure R&D work and pure assembly work. I think if you don't have that mix, or you can't do broader things, you could be in deep troubles, because then your business is completely tied to the economic cycle, and that's something that you would like not to have.
So if you would have to make a few recommendations to other companies that are not active in automotive yet, but think they need to be active, what are the most important guidelines to be successful in automotive?
I think, and this will sound really weird, it has nothing to do with the economics behind it, but translate your material in Japanese. That's my advice. Very simple. Why? Because everybody thinks that the Germans own automotive, or the Americans own automotive. It's actually not true. It's the Japanese are the biggest and the most aggressive growers in automotive. So even if you're working with a company like Toyota, for example, in Europe, translate your stuff in Japanese. It will only help you. And it doesn't cost that much money to do that. We've worked with videos that we've translated in Japanese, and then we know that those videos are being watched in the headquarters in Japan, and then it comes back. Suddenly you get a phone call from somebody who then basically says, I've got a Japanese superior that has asked me to call you on his behalf to do X, Y, and Z, for example.
That's a really surprising advice.
Yes, so yeah, super practical, but translated in Japanese.
Okay. And then my final question, what are today your biggest challenges?
Finding the people to continue or to support the growth. So we're currently, again, because we're working on these R&D projects, we're working specifically on the firmware level. So where we were putting our algorithms and our secret sauce on specific PCBs that we make specifically for automotive. So those are specific types of products, and we need people to continue to work on that.